తెలీదు. ఆ కాలిక్యులేషన్ ఏంటో తెలీదు. చేసిన వర్క్ లేవు. కొన్ని ఫోటోలు పెట్టండి సరిపోద్ది. సరిపోద్ది.
అదే అదే.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
ఓకే సార్, చూద్దాం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ బాస్.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, hello,
Yes.
good afternoon, sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. We can hear you. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting in a few minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being present with us today. I, Shruti from DBER Forum, welcome you to the sixth episode of the UnSpoken series as a part of our YA campaign. The topic of discussion for today is trafficking for organ harvesting. According to the World Health Organization, organ trade is a commercial transplantation where there is a profit or transplantations that occur outside of the national medical systems. The transplantation of healthy organs into persons who own organs have failed, improves and saves thousands of lives every year. But the demand for organs have outstripped supply, creating an underground market for illicitly obtained organs. Desperate situations of both recipients as well as donors create an avenue ready for exploitation by international organ trafficking syndicates. Traffickers exploit the desperation of the donors to improve the economic situation of themselves and their families. We will hear more about organ transplantation and trafficking for the purpose of organ harvesting. But before that, we have a short performance from the children of Don Bosco Anbu Illam, Chennai. We begin with a mime put up by our boys Gautam, Vijay, Mathan, Velu, O'Neill, Murugan, Vishal, Venkadesh, Kodishwaran, Arjun, Devakar, Prabhakaran, and Naveen. This mime will be followed by a dance presented by our girls Priya, Sharmila, Bhavani, Mohana, Manju, Anandi, Nasima, Vasanti, Rajeshwari, Mayavati, Pooja, Sonia, Aishwarya, and Meghna.
Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 rumba. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. High music, high flows. Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 taqui. Tienes un besito con aquí, pura explota como Saki Saki. Prende los motores Kawasaki, en la discota Jenny llegaron los Anunnaki. No le baje, el puri sobresale de tu traje. No trajo panticito pa' que el nene no trabaje. Es que yo me sé lo que ella cree que ya se sabe. Cuenta que no quiere pero me tiene espionaje. Cuenta que no quiere pero me tiene espionaje. El puri sobresale de tu traje. No trajo panticito pa' que el nene no trabaje. Es que yo me sé lo que ella cree que ya se sabe. Cuenta que no quiere pero me tiene. Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 rumba. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. High music, high flows.
Boy, you say you wanna touch it and tease it and squeeze it with my piggyback. My nigga, you need to feed it.
Thank you, children, for that wonderful performance. The boys brought out through their mime a very live situation of what might happen within an organ transplantation chamber, whereas the girls, on a lighter note, brought to us a very, very nice and well coordinated dance performance. We move on to our main session now. We have with us Mr. Rosedar as our resource person today. After 23 years of working with the government as a prosecuting officer, Mr. Rosedar has voluntarily retired. Till January of this year, he served as the Deputy Director of Prosecutions, Tirupati. Today, he is leading his own law firm based in Vijayawada and also practicing advocacy in the Andhra Pradesh High Court. I hand over the session to you, Mr. Rosedar. Sir, you are muted. Could you please unmute and speak?
सबको नमस्कार. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm very happy to join and share my views with all. And basically, now the topic is for transplant, organ transplanting or trafficking for organ harvesting. So basically, first we must know where the organ trade lies in the trafficking. The trafficking in persons has been defined, and this organ harvesting is one of the product of this trafficking in persons. So we must understand the broad definition of the trafficking in person, because even though in India there is a law on the Transplantation of Organs Act 1994, this act never deals with actually directly never deals with the trafficking in persons. It is only provides the regulations and provides also punishment for illegal transplantation, but legally it defines only recipient, who is a legal recipient, and also donor, legal donor, but not illegal donors only, but provides the punishment under that the provisions of the act. That is different. I will discuss on that point. First, we must know the concept of trafficking in persons first. What is trafficking? Basically the understanding of this definition as per this UN definition, the trafficking means there are 5 things are there. Trafficking in persons involves. One is recruitment. Paramount consideration is recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, receipt of persons. These things which are known as trafficking in persons. However, we can understand the trafficking in persons in a broader way, how this trafficking takes place, one thing, and for what purpose this trafficking takes place. So there are 3 things: the acts which may be committed, and the second thing is the manner or modus operandi, how this trafficking takes place, and the third one is for what purpose this trafficking takes place. If any person is trafficked, means he must have recruited or transported or transferred or harbored or receipt of the persons by way of purchasing, buying or selling. The second thing is it may take place by coercion, deception, or fraud, force, or by change of persons, by receipt of the persons, by sale or purchase. Now we can come to the end point of the trafficking, that for what purpose it takes place. This is one I have already shared the PPT. You can find out that the acts, means and purposes. And
sir, I'm sorry. Do you want me to present the PPT now over here? I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
they can have a broad understanding about it. Easy to digest.
Sir, are you able to see the PPT?
Oh, yes. Proceed.
Yeah.
Third slide. Yes. You see, this is the one important table that where we can understand where this organ harvesting can be understand. So the acts that I have already discussed, that recruitment, transportation, transfer, harbor or receipt of the persons, and the modus operandi may be the threat, force, coercion, fraud, abduction, deception, abuse of the process, and vulnerability is not there now in the definition, that was taken away, and exchange of money, so that is purchase, buying and selling, and the purpose is the popular and primary purpose that we can say this is for prostitution and sexual exploitation, forced labor, slavery, servitude, and removal of organs. So the removal of organ is now the present day topic that we need to understand how it takes place. This next. Organ trade and methods. Broadly, we can classify under two heads. That is illegal harvest. The second is purchase from the poor. And the third one is that is the process of the law under Transplantation of the Human Organs Act 1994, that is legal. Now we are discussing about the organ trade illegal methods. That is, illegal harvesting means taking away the boy either by kidnap, abduction, force, deception, without confining him illegally. That is the way. That is the second method, that is modus operandi or means of trafficking the person for the purpose of organ trade. The second method is that purchase from the poor. So exploiting the poor for richest person's need. This is another second method. And that's already mentioned that the third method is legal method. That is which is allowed under the Act Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994. Then one important aspect that we have to understand to dissect this organ trade is consent of the victim or consent of the person who is taken for this organ trade. So the consent of the victim for any purpose, any product. This now we can say that this organ harvesting is one of the products of the trafficking in person. So if any person who is from whom this or any of the organ is taken away, either by illegal means or by buying or forcing him to take, by force, the consent of that person, even if he is selling, even if that person is the major, even if that person is of sound mind, still if he has given consent, that consent of that particular person cannot be treated as a valid consent. Even if he is a major, he shall be treated as a victim of trafficking for organ harvesting. So his consent is not valid, and the child naturally below the age of 18 years, his consent is also not valid at law. The second thing is we can see that why this organ harvesting is taking place. Unless there is a market, unless there is a demand, there will be no chance for market. So it's a matter of demand and supply. Now we can say in the international syndicates that there are so many syndicates dealing with the human organs. Just like in a market, daily how the needs that we purchase, the products that we purchase. In a similar way now, in a syndicate, illegal by illegal means, the people are dealing with human organs or human beings even. Sometimes dead body may be purchased and they may take away the organs. So now we can call it as a shop for human organs. So what are the products that are available in that shop? You can just see the one after one, the liver, heart, brain, kidneys, and you see next slide, please. And see the buying and giving both are taking place, and shop for human beings even, maybe a dead person. When his brain stem is dead, he may be the dead body will be purchased for the purpose of organ harvesting. So there is no age age limit also. Even a child may be purchased, or a human being who is live by way of purchasing the by way of purchasing the organ, the transaction may take place, that illegal contract. Or at the time when his brainstem dead, then he may be that body may be purchased for the purpose of it. So that's why we mentioned that shop for human organs, shop for human beings, even that they're dead persons. And the next slide, we can see what are the organs that having heavy demand in the international market, and the syndicates deal with next. syndicate deals that corneas, lung, heart, liver, kidneys. So you see the market from US. They have just that slide clearly gives the the estimated amount of 30,000 US dollars, and lungs 150,000 US dollars, and heart 130,000 US dollars, and liver and kidney. So you can understand the demand for this human organs in the international net. So these are the important things, that is cornea, lung, heart, liver, kidney. These are the important among them again very popular is kidney and heart. These are the two things. And now next we can see, with this we can understand that organ trade is not whole trafficking in persons. So organ trade is one of the products of the trafficking. So in the trafficking there are so many things. Prostitution is there, forced labor is there, child labor is there, servitude is there, or forced sexual exploitation is there. All these things are there. Among them, this organ trade is one of the end products of the trafficking in persons. Next, you can see this is why it is called as a organized crime. It is not a what you can say pale crime or trial crime. It's an organized crime having net and the international level, and there are so many, as mentioned, that syndicates in at international levels, and they act as a mediators from the farmers between the purchaser and the seller. And you see, there are so many things: drug trafficking, human trafficking, arms trafficking, cross-border and terrorism and narco-terrorism, money laundering, cyber crimes, counterfeiting, smuggling, and trafficking in persons in organs. And now this organ is become the product in the market, and trafficking like this. That's why we can treat it as an organized crime. And this organized crime for making huge money, and these illegal vicious cycle, this play a very important role. And the second thing is, one more important thing is transplant tourism. We must understand what is transplant tourism. Organ trafficking, next slide please. Organ trafficking is the practice of stealing or buying. I stress this. Stealing means without the knowledge of that person. Before that. Organ transplant tourism, it takes place by two things: by stealing or buying organs. Stealing without the knowledge, buying with the knowledge means consent. Both are crimes and part of human trafficking. Organ trafficking is a practice of stealing or buying organs through exploitation. Those are sold in the black market for profit. And the transplant tourism and the traveling to another country for the purpose of buying and selling and receiving the organs. This Chennai is one of the important places where from Bangladesh many people will come for underground transplantation of human organs. So many. I also dealt with one case during the service that one girl was taken from Bangladesh, and she was taken into underground. Thereafter, her kidneys were taken away. One of the kidneys was taken away for the purpose of the what you can say the master. She is the actually servant working in the home, and that master's mother need that kidney, and they have taken that maid servant to the Chennai, and after transplantation they have sent that girl to the Bangladesh after some time. So here this is not buying. This is one stealing or taking away the one of the kidneys by forcefully means. And this is India is a source place as it is. India is a source place because the poor people are there, very easy to purchase and to meet the demand of the global demand for this organ trade. So the people run to India and China for these purposes. And why this demand is there? 10% organs are available in the international market by legal method. The demand is 100%, but the legally availability product is only 10%. So they have to get 90% of organs by illegal methods. You see, if the one of the reports, if taken into seen, that every 10 minutes, one organ harvesting is going on by illegal method. Every 10 minutes. So in America, that too, not in the global wide, is in America, in every 10 minutes, one illegal harvesting is taking place. This is the one important aspect to note. Next. That the second thing is that is the reason why this industry, why this market, international market has developed its network from country to country and exploiting the poor people. So it is very easy to exploit the poor people for the purpose of healthiest people and their need. So that is one important aspect of. Then coming to the next, if you take the volume, that kidney is the most transplanted organ with the global estimates of 68,500 transplants performed in a year. Say this, what you can say, that 68,500 transplants performed a year. Say we can understand the seriousness of this illegal activity. This is followed by liver, heart, lungs, and pancreas. And illegal kidneys trade generally follows from poor, underdeveloped countries to rich, developed ones. That is the reason why India became a source place for this organ harvesting. That is one more thing. And the second thing is, another important thing is how India is trying to regulate this one. In India, 1994, a law has been enacted in the titled as the Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994. And in this act, there is no any definition for illegal harvesting. This is only recipient, donor definitions will be there. And if any person violates any transplantation of any of the organs, he will be prosecuted under the provisions of Section 18, Section 19, and Section 20 onward. So this act is dealing in two ways. One is it legalizes the transplantation of human organ according to in contemplation of that the provisions of that act. So that is legal method. And at the same time, if any person violates the provisions of that act, he will be prosecuted under Section 18, Section 19, and 20, and all the offenses are made cognizable. And the second thing is, if we go through Section 19, it's a very, very important. Next slide. Very, very important. So the modus operandi and the methods of things, that punishment, for what the punishment has been provided. Section 19, it deals with makes or receives any payment for supply of or for an offer to supply of human organs. So it is not only direct dealing, it also prohibits supply, that is through mediators. Some mediator worked out and he has taken or purchased or procured a human organ and he supplied to any of the hospitals for transplantation, he will also be punished as a prime offender and seeks to find a person willing to supply. You see, need not be this harvesting. This means what you can say, this trade may take place. Even identifying a person or seeking to find a person willing to supply for payment of human organ, that is also an offense under this act. And one more thing is offers to supply. He may not accept the other opposite person. Suppose a person offered 5 lakhs rupees to B for giving one kidney. So this offer itself, it is an offense. Even though the opposite person, he says, I don't want to sell my kidney. So this offer itself is an offense. And initiates or negotiates any arrangements involving the making of any payment for supply or for an offer to supply or any human organ. Takes part in management or control of a body of persons. That is one related to the hospitals dealing with this organ. I can give one example, recent example of Andhra Pradesh. In 2 corporate hospitals, one thing has taken place, one at Vizag and one at Nellore district. So what happened? In the Nellore district, one person who is means a poor man, a coolie of a SC community, he met with an accident, vehicular accident, and he was shifted to one of the corporate hospitals in Nellore district. And there, at the time that is even before his brain stem death is dead, the contract was taken place that the wife of that patient was called to the hospital and they demanded to pay 2,62,000 rupees towards the medical bill. That poor lady said, I am very poor, I am unable to make any payment. Then they conducted counseling and said, how you can, you do one thing, you give permission to take organ and we will waive the medical bill of 2,62,000 rupees. Then finally that lady, poor lady, after that counseling, she agreed to take away the organs of her husband towards the medical bill. So this illegal contract came into light through media, and thereafter they were taken into custody and a case was booked under section 18 and 19. Here you see organ organ harvesting, illegal organ harvesting need not be taken place only directly, and the offense can be made out even by mere offer or even by seeking to find a person or initiating or negotiating the persons or taking part in the management or the corporate body to deal with these things. This is called trafficking. Need not be that the organ in fact should be taken away and transplanted in the recipient body. So the law is very, very important here. One should understand what are the trafficking acts and what are the prohibited things under the act. Then one more important F. You see another point, next slide. F, publishes. This is also actus rea here. Publishes or distributes or causes to be published or distributed any advertisement for the purpose of organ trading. Inviting persons to supply for payment of human organs, invitation, offer, or finding out, or offering to supply any human organ for payment, indicating that the advertiser is willing to initiate or negotiate any arrangement referred under clause D. And also one more important, a man, he who abates in the preparation of all the above acts, submission of false documents, he is also, abettor is also is an offender under section 19 of this act. This is the one important aspect. Many people do not know the scope of this section 19 and commonly understood that organ trade takes place only after transplantation. It is not correct. Transplantation need not take place. So the prevention and prevention can be done by identifying these traffickers who are dealing in many ways. That is the person, the trafficker may be one who arranges, who supplies, who identifies, who initiates, who takes part in the management, who makes gives publication, and who invites the person to supply, or who offers to supply the human organs, and who abates. And all these persons are all come within the vicious cycle of this organ trade. This is one important thing to understand. And the secondly, other laws which are dealing in India, in our country, is one IPC. Recently, that 2013 criminal law amendment, section 370 has been incorporated, and that is trafficking in persons. That is one proviso where the offender will be prosecuted and punished severely. And under the 1994 Act, the punishment is not less than 5 years, and which may be extended to 20 years. And also the fine may be 20 lakhs, and it may go up to 1 crore rupees. 1 crore rupees. The secondly, under IPC, several offenses can be made out against these traders. That is one, kidnapping, wrongful confinement, and criminal force, cheating, or criminal means what you can say, intimidation, and hurt, and all these things can be taken into can be charged for the purpose of prosecution of those offenders. One more important thing, that to curb this activity, the other laws other than this human transplantation of human organs and IPC and other laws, the Citizenship Act. Next slide, you can please proceed. Citizenship Act is also there. Many stakeholders, or NGOs, or prosecutors, or the other police officers never look into these aspects, because they deal with directly with the substantial law. And one more act, next. One more act is there, Citizenship Act 1955. You see, because this is also very important. This act allows any trafficker, if is identified, to revoke his citizenship. If the trafficker who is dealing with this trade organ illegally, under the Citizenship Act 1955, this his citizenship may be revoked or conviction. He may be prosecuted under that particular act. And one more act which is dealing with the Foreigners Act. Next slide. Foreigners Act. This act empowers the central government to regulating entry, exit behavior in India. Suppose if any person who is identified as a trafficker dealing with organ harvesting illegally, or buying or purchasing, luring this poor people, then those foreigners may be regulated. Their entry may be regulated by exit or behavior in India. So this is also one important enactment which deals with the prevention of this human organ, trade organ. Next, another thing is, another slide, Immigration Carriers Liability Act 2000. This is also an important act. This act also prosecute those offenders or traffickers who indulge in the illegal transport of human beings from one country to another country, either by air or by sea, for the purpose of organ trade. This is one important. Next, another thing is Indian Passport Entry to India Act 1920. Here also the trafficker, the central government under this act makes rules regarding the persons entering India. He may be prohibited to enter without a valid passport. So many traffickers, they enter illegally or they go out illegally, and suppose if his passport is there, means the central government, if identifies any person of this citizen of this country, even his movement can be restricted. Means what the valid passport may be taken back for the purpose of prevention. Next, another thing is, one important law is going to be introduced. Is already bill is there, 2018. Under this act also there are provisions dealing with this trafficking in persons, and this is yet to come. The bill is pending, and under this act also severe punishments have been provided, and these are the things very important basically to know about the organ harvesting illegal. So I repeat one more thing, that this harvest, it takes place in two ways illegally. That is, one is by force, and second is buying and or purchasing. So in force, the consent, there will be no consent. In buying, there will be consent, but that consent is not valid. Many police officers who interact with me, they say that, sir, she has given consent. Sir, he has given consent. Is that consent valid? No. Unless and until the provisions under the Transplantation of Human Organs 1994 are complied with, the consent of the donor shall be presumed that no consent at all. This is one myth of the police officers that they always think that the consent is valid. They have taken amount for 10 lakhs and they have given consent, how we can prosecute. These are the basic things within the that vicious cycle of this trafficking in person, which covers with deals with this organ trade. And one more means, any time is there, madam? Time?
Shruti, you are muted.
Hello? In time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can continue.
Okay. So
5 more
anything,
minutes, sir.
yes, anything, if any questionnaire is given, we can interact and we can cover that point, because a lot of things are there to discuss. In any chat room, if any particular question is there, then we can deal with it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. So if anyone has any questions, you can put it up in the comment box and we will share the questions with sir. Sir, I do have a question here. So what happens if we as the general public, if one of us comes across somebody who has already gone through the process of organ trafficking and they don't know that, you know, what has happened with them? So in this situation, where can we report? To whom do we report? What should the process be?
Initially, we can report the matter to the local police within local jurisdiction, and Section 19 directly deals with it. Section 19, what I already discussed that any person who is working in that network for his benefit is an offender within the meaning of framework of that Section 19. If any person who identifies his movements for at any particular hospital area that he is dealing for trade organ trade, then he can be confined and he can be booked for that under Section 19. And also under IPC. and also and that is the 370 and other means offenses under the Indian Penal Code.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the clarification. Do
Any
we
person
have
can arrest that fellow. Any person, any citizen or a person can arrest any person who is identified as the traffic means traffic as a trafficker.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the clarification. Do we have any questions for sir with regards to organ trafficking? Okay. Sir, since I think we'll give some more time for the people to add in their questions.
Yes.
So, as you said that organ trafficking not only takes place for adults above the age of 18, but they also take place for children. And you also mentioned that consent doesn't apply for either of the cases.
Yes.
So if we are children, if we are all below the age of 18 and we do realize that something wrong is happening and we do realize that we are being taken to a hospital or we are going to be sedated, in this situation, as a child who doesn't have a lot of contacts around him or her at that point in time, what can we do as children?
For this, for first we have to take steps for prevention. So we have to educate each and every children, and at all the institutions, maybe at home first. At home is the first school, as we generally talk about, and the parents and in the schools or by NGOs have to educate the children below the age of 18 years that not to have any means dealings with the the strangers, and more particularly, if any of the movement of any stranger means if any child is identified, then immediately she must be alert and alert the other means nearest people who can safeguard those children. So the important thing is education, awareness, causing awareness. Prevention program is very, very important, because traffickers are very, very intelligent people. They take all precautions.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So we do have a question from Mr. Raj. He is asking, if we do want to donate a particular organ to one of our relatives or somebody whom we know, what is the legal procedure for doing that?
For what?
For donating an organ to
Yes.
one of our relatives or friends who needs it, what is the legal procedure for doing that?
Yes, very good. Under the provisions of the Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994, they have to establish the relationship between the donor and the recipient. And there shall not be any commercial transaction or contract between them. And the authorities, the collector and the institutions which are established, they have to submit their proposal for that, establishing the relationship and a clear proof that there is no commercial transaction or exploitation. Then the transplantation is allowed, legally allowed.
Okay. So there is one more question. This is from Joshua John Nirmal. So he's asking, what is the level of awareness that we have about organ trafficking given to the slums and the villages by the government?
Really telling that there are no schemes dealing with to prevent this, to cause awareness to the rural area people. They do not know the how to counter it actually. Is a government shall take initiative to give wide publicity about this methods of trafficking, and to make the people, rural people, be aware about this traffickers.
Okay.
In Andhra Pradesh, there are no any such program, prevention program in rural area.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes. So I think we do not have any more questions on this particular topic. Thank you so much, sir, for the clarification for our questions and for explaining giving highlights to the major points that we need to know as social workers and as caregivers in order to protect not only our children but everyone else around us. Thank you so much for that.
Really, one point that I would like to
Yes,
mention
sir.
that
Yes.
because among the stakeholders, major work is now taken up by the NGOs. Really,
Yes,
the
sir.
police are having very little interest about it. Actually, basically, they do not know the scope of this main act of this Human Transplantation Act in 1994. They don't know the scope and the structure of the act even. Mostly, only NGOs are causing awareness in some of the areas and taking up the prevention programs. And the corporate hospitals are the environments, the surroundings of the corporate hospitals became the hubs for these traffickers, and they are trying to identify the people and to lure them or deceive them for offering the huge amounts for poor people, lured for the for the benefit of wealthiest people.
Okay.
So NGO role is only one thing is there to my knowledge. For the last 2006, I have been dealing with this anti-human trafficking cases. Mostly NGOs are causing awareness to the police. NGOs are conducting trainings for the public prosecutors, judicial officers, and other stakeholders.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we do have a lot of NGOs working in the field, but I think it would be really nice to have our government also take up some initiative to spread awareness. Thank you so much, sir, for your very brief yet detailed presentation. I have Srinath from DBR Forum here to present the vote of thanks.
Yeah, good evening, all. I deem it is a great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on behalf of DBR Forum in the sixth episode of the UnSpoken series. First and foremost, I thank our resource person, Mr. Rosdar, who has immense knowledge about the legal mechanisms and its functions, which acquired through the vast experience as a prosecuting officer and a practicing High Court advocate. Mr. Rosa's session helped us to understand the undisclosed crime, such as trafficking for organ harvesting. As we all know that it is very difficult to recognize this crime due to its complexities. Mr. Rostar focused on legal aspects of the organ transplants and how it is happening illegally in our country. Emphasis on the current legal provisions in our country for Mr. Rostar highlight those issues. Emphasis on the current legal provisions in the country, because really most of us enjoyed the session because you gave such an insight to this issue and problem. The point was very clear that the chance is higher for the children who are trafficked for organ harvesting because there are no proof of their existence, as you know. So the children, the young at risk children, now they are in the more riskier situations. Secondly, I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for the distinguished individuals who were attentive throughout the session. I firmly believe that the interactive session was very fruitful as the participants raised some questions and Mr. Roster highlighted and gave some kind of insight to us. Then thank you each one of the participants. I owe special gratitude to the children from Anbulam, Chennai, who performed the skit and dance in the beginning of our session. It was awesome. Through the performance, the children were able to showcase the intensity of the issue. Because through that 5-minute skit, we were able to understand this is the core issue which needs to be addressed. So thank you, dear children. You deserve a big applause for your performance and participation. Then my heartfelt thanks to Father Joseph Leo, Director of Don Bosco Anbulam Chennai, Father James Raj, and Don Bosco Anbulam staff for their commitment and energy spent towards the participation of the children. I extend my thanks to all your coordinators for their efforts in making our campaign to reach the unreached population. We can see a lot of people are here today from different parts of India. Let us reflect on the ideas and issues highlighted on this session and try to practice in our life and in our works so we can improve the life quality of children. Let us help the children to grow up in their fullness. So thank you, everyone. Then, apart from all these, I would like to inform you that our 7th episode of this Unspoken series will be organized on 8th January 2021 at 3:30 p.m. So please mark on your calendar 8th January 2021 at 3:30 p.m. The theme of the session is sex trafficking, and we got a wonderful resource person, Miss Sudhi Roy Chowdhury, who is part of the CFCA national team under DBR Forum New Delhi. So we look forward to meet all of you in the upcoming meeting. We would share more details and link of the meetings at the earliest. Once again, thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srinath, for sharing. Just a small reminder, if you all can check the chat box, we have the links of our previous episodes of the Unspoken series. We have also put up a Google form link where you can go and register so that we can share all of our resource materials with you as soon as the episode finishes off. So thank you, sir. Thank you, fathers. Thank you, everyone, for being with us here today. See you on the 8th of Jan. And a very happy new year and happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Father.
Good evening, Father.
Good evening, Father.
Good evening, Father.
Naina, breathe easy.
We still have few participants on.
Other Koshi is there.
Okay,
Good
others
evening,
went
Father.
right now, I think.
No, some people are there.
Other Koshi, you have to unmute.
Bosco Illam YMCA, Father, there are a few more people still there.
Yes.
I think Father
Yes.
No, that's it. That's it.
Father Koshi is speaking to somebody.